Today, I want to talk about the big whales. Why should we talk about these big whales? Because they largely determine the direction of the water. Like pointing a finger, here are the big whales, and should we follow what they do? Yes, to be honest, that's exactly what we're going to do. We need to move according to their buying, selling, and holding positions. Don't fight the wave. Position yourself according to it. That's why we'll be watching the whales. So, who are these whales? They include funds like BlackRock's A4 fund and others. These are big companies that manage large funds. Following the significant purchases these companies and funds make after obtaining Bitcoin ETF approval will be much more beneficial than just trying to position according to Bitcoin's price chart. Simply following Bitcoin charts to predict where the market is going or opening positions based on these charts will never make you rich. You will just keep paying transaction fees to the crypto exchanges. That's why you're here, after all. You have a significant difference from them. You don't just pay attention to certain things and act accordingly. We consider everything together. Instead of acting based on the price, we look at what the giants are doing. We observe what big companies and funds are doing. If we had only followed people's actions, we would have been broke hundreds of times by now. Look at how much Bitcoin has been accumulated from over-the-counter OTC markets in recent weeks. I'm not talking about exchanges, but OTC markets. If such a significant amount of Bitcoin and Ethereum were withdrawn from exchanges, the market would suddenly experience an incredible surge, and companies and funds looking to make a real profit wouldn't be able to achieve their true gains. Therefore, they want to solve this through OTC market transactions. While people are distracted or have lost their excitement, they are gathering as much Bitcoin as they can. There is information that big companies and funds are aware of, but ordinary people don't know. These companies are so big that even the slightest loss they incur can cause significant damage to the country and world economy. You know who I'm talking about: BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street and their funds. These companies work with governments and know or prepare for all major events in the world in advance, so they prepare for everything ahead of time. The biggest sign of this preparation is the rush towards limited assets like Bitcoin and gold. Right now, there are only two most valuable things in the world that are limited and can be used everywhere. One is gold and the other is Bitcoin. Because gold is not as easy to transport and use in transactions as Bitcoin, accumulating Bitcoin from the market is easier. When we think about the upcoming events, it is very likely that Bitcoin will reach $100,000 in the short term, for example within 6 months. Gold prices will also rise significantly, but when gold rises, there won't be an altcoin market and Ethereum rising alongside it like Bitcoin does. There are similar assets, but none as easy to acquire and transport as Bitcoin. Additionally, the estimated value of the gold market is about $10 trillion, while the total value of the crypto market is about $2.5 trillion. Considering that Bitcoin makes up about $1.3 trillion of the crypto market, estimating the return and profit rate is not difficult. As I said, in the short term, Bitcoin will easily reach $100,000, and $400,000 in the midterm is inevitable. How am I so sure? Because I have complete faith in government's desire to print money. If governments didn't print so much money and didn't make your money, especially the dollar, worthless, we wouldn't be talking about limited assets like Bitcoin and gold today. What about Ethereum? We'll get to that too. Although Ethereum is not limited, its technology is excellent. The technologies built on it are incredible. We won't have difficulty predicting where it will go in the short term either. Since we can think of Bitcoin as its little brother, Ethereum will also easily surpass the $10,000 mark in the short term. When I use the word prediction, it's more than just a guess. Why? Because we are doing all the necessary analysis today to avoid being broke during the economic storm that might hit in the next few months. Look, despite the market being at its peak right now, these companies are still accumulating Bitcoin and gold from over-the-counter markets. There's a reason they do this so effectively. The assets and funds these companies hold are worth trillions of dollars. Their perspective and approach to events are, as you can imagine, different from regular people. One of the most flawless things we can do is imitate the biggest and the strongest. If they are currently accumulating as much Bitcoin as they can from the market, I believe we should not hesitate to imitate them. The essence is to act like the biggest until you become the biggest. We must never forget that each person's company and fund have different risk thresholds and appetites. We should always keep this in mind. While positioning ourselves according to the wave created by the big players, we need to know our risk appetite. In the world of crypto assets, especially Bitcoin, it is not too late to catch big opportunities and easy profits. There is still hope and profit to be made. You know why I call it easy profit? We are following the big funds and companies, analyzing data on where the market is heading, and trusting in government's desire to print money. So, while we're here, we pay attention to all of this. Of course, we will win, because we look at everything, analyze everything, and dedicate time to all of it. Who will win? People who chase discounts at markets? No. Those who strive and dedicate time for their future will win. Yes, as I said, you and I know what we need to do, and we will act accordingly. There is nothing to worry about. We know what's coming and we're prepared. Take care until we meet again.